Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Yuri,
And I am Abe.
and we are your host for today. So before we start with our webinar, let's have first our video presentations from our subject Nursing Leadership and Management. So please sit back first, watch and enjoy.
Community health nursing combines primary health care and nursing practice in a community. Community health nurses provide health services, preventive care, intervention, and health education.
The aim of good management is to provide services to the community in an appropriate, efficient, equitable, and sustainable manner. Management and leadership are essential to achieving same goals related to quality care and patient safety.
Unlike a nurse who works with patients one-to-one, community nurses focus on communities. They have various roles that provide health education, community advocacy, ensuring safe and healthy environment, abuse and neglect prevention, policy reform, community development, and home visit.
Leadership and management apply to population-focused nursing. As a future nurse, in order for a community to deliver a safe and quality care, there must be a good leader and a good manager. The goals of nursing leadership: 1. To work with others to ensure a healthy community. 2. To serve as an advocate for vulnerable and high-risk populations and to work towards eliminating disparities in healthcare access, quality, and outcomes. 3. To participate in establishing public and organizational policies and programs that promote a healthy living and working environment. And 4. To work with interprofessional teams to design ways to coordinate care across sites and over time, and to evaluate and continually improve healthcare outcomes.
The goals of nursing management are as follows. 1. To achieve agency national goals of client services and clinical outcomes using a systems perspective. 2. To help personnel perform their responsibilities effectively and efficiently. 3. To monitor other staff members and foster lifelong learning. 4. To develop new services that will enable the agency to respond to emergency community health needs. And 5. To monitor health outcomes for particular population groups and identify changes or variants suggesting new problems.
In nursing leadership, for the one who sets goals, he is the one who works with nurses and interprofessional colleagues to develop goals related to preventing healthcare errors and ensuring client safety. In nursing management, or directs the use of resources, he is the one who develops policies and procedures for a referral program for low-income mothers and children to obtain nutrition services. He also ensures that individuals and families understand care routines to promote adherence and reduce chances of healthcare error.
screening of illness and treatment of health problems before they worsen. In nursing leadership sets goals, he works with local government and health department to design lead screening and abatement programs in high-risk census tracts. He also monitors data about the caseload of clients to determine if patterns are developing that might indicate a health problem or issue needs to be resolved. In nursing management, direct use of resources. He designs protocol for lead screening program and hires staff to implement program. He also works with other members of care team to design protocols to improve specific health outcomes.
Nursing leadership. He participates in a planning commission with local health department, hospitals, police, and political leaders to update a community-wide disaster response plan that accounts for bioterrorism. He also collaborates with interprofessional teams to set goals for performance improvement and rapid changes in quality of care problems.
We are experiencing rapid technological advancement in many areas of the society, even in the healthcare system. More than ever, nurses face legal, cultural, and ethical dilemmas that needs to be resolved.
The increasing dependence on technology, longer lifespan, and higher medical cost, coupled with increasing complexity, demand that nurses recognize the situation with ethical, legal, and moral implications. Ethical issues have always affected the role of the professional nurse.
During this time of pandemic, patient rejection in the hospital exists due to COVID-19 crisis.
Here are ethical legal considerations, basis, guiding and regulating the Philippine nursing profession. RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002, Board of Nursing Resolution Number 220, Series of 2004, Adopting Code of Ethics for Nurses in the Philippines, the Bill of Rights of Patient, and the legal aspect and the practice of nursing.
Competencies in making personal and professional judgment based on the National Nursing Corps competency standards here in the Philippines.
First, adheres to ethical legal considerations when providing safe, quality, and professional nursing care.
Second, applies ethical reasoning and decision-making process to address situations of ethical distress and moral dilemma.
Third is to adhere and establish norms of conduct based on the Philippine nursing law and other legal, regulatory, and institutional requirements relevant to safe nursing practice.
Fourth, protects clients' rights based on the patient's Bill of Rights and Obligations.
Fifth, implements strategies or policies related to informed consent as it applies in multiple contexts.
Nursing is a profession that deals with the most personal and private aspects of people's lives. As future nursing practitioners, we are faced with ethical, legal, and moral issues that affects the profession and more so with human life as well. We take part in healthcare decision-making groups in the community down to the smallest barangay. We participate in policy-making group bodies in national task forces, committees, and organizational boards. It is imperative, therefore, that early in our life as student nurses, we are aware of the ethical, legal, and moral implications of our decisions. These decisions are at the very heart of our beliefs regarding the patient as an individual person with rights and privileges. This day-to-day reality compels every nurse to consciously deliberate every decision involving client care.
everyone.
I am Yuri.
I am Glam, and we are here to discuss to you about leadership and management in safe and quality care. In the fast-changing healthcare environment, nursing service needs effective leaders who can understand change and take opportunities as they arise. Nurses need to be aware that each one needs and can be a leader, even nurses providing direct care. During the past years, the nurse manager function has rapidly changed into a role with a greater authority and responsibility.
That's right. That's why, in order to provide safe and quality health services, managers and healthcare professionals need to have a thorough knowledge and understanding of how to plan, organize, direct, and control resources. Likewise, healthcare providers have to respond to patient demands for effective, integrated, and high quality of healthcare services.
So today we have here with us a friend who is willing to share some of her knowledge and insights based on her work experience as a registered nurse. Here is Mrs. Pearl Marie Santonia.
Hello everyone, I am Pearl Marie L. Santonia, a previous cardiac nurse from Philippine Heart Center. I have worked as a cardiac nurse for 4 years. Philippine Heart Center is known to be one of the best hospitals that provide safe and quality care. There is notable and esteemed collaborative efforts of the medical management, administrative management, its partner institutions, and organizations. This hospital has embraced proper education, training, research, leadership, and management. Its vision and programs entails providing the best quality care to its patients. Having been exposed, trained, and educated as a cardiac nurse, quality care must be a shared and unified mission of all health workers and practitioners. This means that quality care and safe environment can be intentionally created when there is a commitment to this program. The key leaders are expected to be the model on the provision of safe and quality care, and this can be possible through regular training and evaluation. It has been placed in our mind and in our heart that safety is always a priority. The leadership and management, as the ones to spearhead the provision of safe and quality care, may be recommended to do the following. Number 1, provide the steps needed to ensure safe and quality care through proper communication using different styles. Number 2, provide the necessary training and update on safety, quality care, and management. Number 3, empower its office as the model, its subordinates and constituents, especially those under its organizational structure. Number 4, they must have rules and regulations in line with the national and the international health guidelines. Number 5, there must be a communication of the safety guidelines and quality care services articulately and with clarity. Number 6, they must devise and revise systems of quality care and safety management. Number 7, they must develop a periodic evaluation, brainstorming, and benchmarking. Number 8, they must also include all health participants to care, including patients themselves. And if I may also add, there must be a number 9, a transformational leadership. In my experience, I have seen that the only barrier to the provision of safe and quality care is when the leadership, the management, its subordinates, and constituents do not share the same heart and goals.
All right, I hope everyone enjoyed and learned something from Mrs. Santonia.
Yes. So to sum up everything, nurses are expected to exhibit their leadership and management skills at the workplace. These skills are geared towards rendering safe and quality nursing care. Likewise, the roles of nurses vary in any healthcare setting to accomplish tasks and performance of care for different clients in consideration with accountability and in accordance with the institution's policies, guidelines, and procedure. So as we end, just remember, safety and quality care requires change, and change requires effective leadership and management.
Once again, I am Glam.
And I am Yuri. Thank you, and God bless future RNs.
nursing combines primary health care and nursing practice in a community. Community health nurses provide health services, preventive care, intervention, and health education.
The aim of good management is to provide services to the community in an appropriate, efficient, equitable, and sustainable manner. Management and leadership are essential to achieving same goals related to quality care and patient safety.
Unlike a nurse who works with patients one-to-one, community nurses focus on communities. They have various roles that provide health education, community advocacy, ensuring safe and healthy environment, abuse and neglect prevention, policy reform, community development, and home visit.
Leadership and management apply to population-focused nursing. As a future nurse, in order for a community to deliver a safe and quality care, there must be a good leader and a good manager. The goals of nursing leadership: 1. To work with others to ensure a healthy community. 2. To serve as an advocate for vulnerable and high-risk populations and to work towards eliminating disparities in healthcare access, quality, and outcomes. 3. To participate in establishing public and organizational policies and programs that promote a healthy living and working environment. And 4. To work with interprofessional teams to design ways to coordinate care across sites and over time, and to evaluate and continually improve healthcare outcomes.
The goals of nursing management are as follows. 1. To achieve agency and professional goals for client services and clinical outcomes using a systems perspective. 2. To help personnel perform their responsibilities effectively and efficiently. 3. To monitor other staff members and foster lifelong learning. 4. To develop new services that will enable the agency to respond to emergency community health needs. And 5. To monitor health outcomes for particular population groups and identify changes or variants suggesting new problems.
In nursing leadership, for the one who sets goals, he is the one who works with nurses and interprofessional colleagues to develop goals related to preventing healthcare errors and ensuring client safety. In nursing management, or directs the use of resources, he is the one who develops policies and procedures for a referral program for low-income mothers and children to obtain nutrition services. He also ensures that individuals and families understand care routines to promote adherence and reduce chances of healthcare error.
Screening of illness and treatment of health problems before they worsen. In nursing leadership sets goals, he works with local government and health department to design lead screening and abatement programs in high-risk census tracts. He also monitors data about the caseload of clients to determine if patterns are developing that might indicate a health problem or issue needs to be resolved. In nursing management, direct use of resources. He designs protocol for lead screening program and hires staff to implement program. He also works with other members of care team to design protocols to improve specific health outcomes.
Nursing leadership. He participates on a planning commission with local health department, hospitals, police, and political leaders to update a community-wide disaster response plan that accounts for bioterrorism. He also collaborates with interprofessional teams to set goals for performance improvement and rapid changes in quality of care problems.
Okay.
All right. Once again, I am Yuri.
And I am Abe.
And we are your hosts for today. So this day marks our second day of webinar. So how do you feel, partner?
Well, it's actually a great day, partner. We're surprisingly learning a lot from our speakers, most especially from Mr. Riantilio yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. So, di mo ba ako tatanungin, partner, how do I feel?
How do you feel ba?
You know what, partner? Today, I'm really, really excited. And why? Because we have a very, very special speaker tonight. And I believe that every one of us will really learn many things about the nursing practice that we will be able to emulate, to practice also later on when we already have our license.
Yes, so ano pa nga ba inaantay natin?
All right, wag na nating patagalin to. So to start up with our seminar, may we call on Miss Sawa Muhammad Zain to lead us in our Islamic prayer. Later on, I will be leading everyone for our Christian prayer. So I invite everyone to please bow down your head, close your eyes, and let's pray.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
So everyone, let's pray. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for this day, for your goodness and faithfulness to our lives, O God. Lord, we acknowledge that indeed apart from you, we are nothing. And that's why, O God, today as we have our webinar, we acknowledge your presence upon us. And I pray, God, that may you open our hearts to receive, Lord, the words, wisdom from our speaker, Panginoon. And Lord, right now we also lift up unto you our speaker, Mrs. Octaviano, Father God. I pray, may you continue to strengthen her, to empower her, O Lord God. I pray that every words that come from her lips, O Lord God, will really penetrate to our heart and we will be able to emulate it and we will be able to apply it, O God, in our lives, O Lord. And Father, I also lift up unto you all the participants, the staffs, the students, Panginoon, Lord God, and even our dean. Father God, I pray that may you unite us in spirit, Panginoon. And I pray, Father in heaven, that may you bless our lives as well, O God. Lord, once again, we lift up unto you this activity that we have, this webinar that we have, O Lord God, today. I pray that may you bless this, O God, Lord, and may you help us, O Lord God, to really, O God, Lord, apply that we will learn. Father God, once again, we thank you for everything. May you bless every family that we represent, oh God. And I pray for excellence for all the students, Father God. We thank you. We glorify you. This we ask and pray in Yeshua's name. Amen and amen.
All right. Oh, what a blessed day. Welcome back, everyone. This time, may we have our strong, hardworking, and our very own Mrs. Judith or Danny Maguilang.
Guys, can we give ma'am a round of applause?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for our dear beloved Mr. Virgo for coming up with these activities. So with our very hardworking and our level 4 students. Okay, so your first and foremost, I would like to say good afternoon to everyone. To Dr. Euphemia Octaviano, ma'am, one of the pillar of the nursing profession, particularly in nursing education. We are very, very, very lucky, dear students, for having her today, especially this afternoon, to be our speaker. And aside from that, she is also one of the former member of the Philippine Regulatory Board of Nursing. Okay, so they are the one who regulates the Philippine nursing education. And so your Your theme this afternoon on your webinar series is very timely. It is the intricacies or the complication of nursing trends, transitions, and directions amidst the disruptions. Okay, and nursing yesterday, Ma'am Euphemia. Today, me, and tomorrow is Virgo. Okay, so I am really very happy and very glad to have our speaker this afternoon. And of course, for all of you for coming up with the webinar, for all your initiative to come up with this series of webinar in relation to your nursing leadership and management course. Okay, so in relation to your theme, yes indeed, there are complications brought about by the nursing advancement, by the nursing developments, nursing trends that we have to address, that we have to embrace, whether it is in the clinical practice or it is in nursing education where we belong. Transitions, because there are from education 1.0 to 5.0 now. Directions, there are directions now, there are future directions, and these future directions we don't know. But you, our future leaders, our future nurses, our future professional nurses would help us direct our future directions. And especially now, we're experiencing the global crisis pandemic that is COVID-19 that disrupt everything that we do aside from going into education 4.0 to 4.0. Okay, our educational landscape, particularly in the college, in the nursing profession or in the nursing program, has been directed, has been disrupted, being disrupted and is disrupted already, brought about by these online classes that we have now. We're in all nursing schools, for that matter, in the Philippines, more than 200, are not really prepared to have this type of platforms and modalities, but we really have to embrace it. It is a change, it is a disruption that all of us should embrace. Okay, so I hope that this afternoon, with the sharing of Dr. Euphemia with us, we will learn a lot about nursing, on nursing trends, the transitions, the future directions, updates amidst all these disruptions. And before I'm going to leave for my opening remarks, I would like to share with you what Benjamin Franklin had said. Tell me and I forget, that is yesterday. Teach me and I remember, that is today. Involve me and I learn. These disruptions that we are experiencing now, these changes that we are experiencing now, don't worry, because it brought out, it gave us better opportunities, an opportunity to redesign our nursing instruction and curriculum, our research methodologies and development, our community service and evaluations, our innovations, and our other inventions. Because as of now, we really have to invent, we really have to experiment medicines and vaccines to treat COVID-19 during this pandemic crisis brought about by COVID-19. So with this, without so much ado, welcome Ma'am Euphemia and the other speaker a while ago who shared her experience. Thank you, Ma'am, for that. And all dear students again for this afternoon's webinar. Thank you and enjoy the afternoon. Back to you on the virtual floor.
Thank you so much for that wonderful message, Mrs. Maguilang. It was very inspiring.
So now, I guess it's time to introduce to everyone our speaker for tonight. Well, we will just share a little background of our speaker. Actually, she's an alumnus of Colegio San Agustin in 1972 as a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. She obtained her Master's in Nursing at the University of the Philippines way back 1974 and continued her professional development as a Doctor of Education at the University of St. La Salle, Bacolod City in 1998. She also became the Dean of Riverside College Nursing at Bacolod City for 25 years. Also, she also functioned actively as a member of Philippine Nurses Association, or PNA, Integrated Registered Nurses of the Philippines, or IRNUP.
She's also an associate of the Dean of the Philippine Colleges of Nursing in ADPCN, National League of Philippine Nurses, NLPGN, and NARS party list, and served as the Board of Nursing Chairman of member 2002 to 2006. She was always been an evaluator in the Philippine Accrediting Association of Schools, Colleges, and Universities in PASSCU. Aside from being an active member, she was also a co-author of Theoretical Foundation of Nursing, The Philippine Perspective, First Edition, and Fundamental of Nursing Law, Jurisprudence and Ethics, 2008. And at present, she is a professor at Far Eastern University, Trinity University of Asia, and University of St. La Salle of Bacolod.
All right. So, mukhang marami-raming bigas pang ating kakainin, partner.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, we want to welcome to all of you Dr. Euphemia
Octaviano. All right, so let's just wait for Dr. Octaviano for a little while. Good afternoon, doctor. Good afternoon, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon.
That's perfect, ma'am. Thank you so much. May we see you properly, please, so we could recognize you?
Everyone.
That's better, doctor. Thank you so much. You look wonderful today.
Thank you. Do I speak now?
Yes, ma'am, please take the floor.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Despite this pandemic, we are together virtually because of our desire to improve our profession. I have been in the profession for more than 50 years. Don't count my age. Hey, hey, hey. And at least you also laugh a little bit. And also, I believe that one should not stop practicing the profession in any field. I am a nurse, but I am not in the institutions to care for patients. I'm not anymore a professor in formal profession in college of nursing or university. But it was not mentioned that I have a review center for nurses and teachers in the meantime. So I still enjoy being a teacher and a nurse. in the field of education. I am going to share with you Philippine Nursing Profession Roadmap as per suggestion of Mr. Virgo Clemente, who is now a friend of mine. And I hope that he will visit again Bacolod and share his expertise. So my first slide there in the roadmap is the vision of our profession, that Philippine professional nursing care to be the Filipino way could be the choice of our own Filipinos and the world. That's our vision. Our vision, you can read with me if you will put it up as a slide in the board or in your own blackboard there, is we, the Filipino nurses, responding to the need of society, are engaged to provide functions of globally and congruent nursing care. So nursing is a universal service. And wherever we are as Filipino nurses, in the future, you young ones, when you go out to other countries, show them the touch of the Filipino nurse because we are different. Okay? And always remember the core values. This was decided upon by the Board of Nursing during my time with the participation of Philippine Nurses Association, Association of Deans, and other organizations. That first of all, we love God, whoever our God is, whatever your religion is. And these are caring, integrity, integrity, meaning that it is not something foolish we do, and of course, we love our country so much that wherever we are in other countries, we still demonstrate our being nationalistic. That's our values. And here I present the roadmap for until 2030. When the board and the participants decided to make this a, how many years from now? 20, 21 now, and up to 2030. You may, or anybody can edit because of the changes, or anybody can add according to needs of society at present. And these are the Filipino nurse is collaborative. And collaborative means what? We don't work alone. There are 11 members of the health team, and each is as important as the other members. So we just don't say, nursing assistant lang yan siya. The nursing assistant is as important as the nurse, male or female. We don't say janitor lang yan siya because kung walang janitor, hindi clean and green, so to say, ang ating environment. We also have other values, and one is caring, love of God, integrity, caring, excellence, and nationalism. So, most important also are the competencies that we have decided as a board during my time in 2002 to 2006. The new members are allowed or are of course allowed, permitted, or recommended that they change or they revise this code according to the need of the at present. Okay, you may ask questions in between my talk. Remember the best choice of the world and the Filipinos ourselves. Okay? Questions? Our collaborative partners are important because they also participate, collaborate what we do as nurses in any field, institutional, provincial, educational, community, wherever the nurse is. There are members of that can contribute to the betterment of health care. Other disciplines they are from, professional, formal professional, and informal professional. They are still a member of our team. And one purpose is to engage stakeholders, the one who accept our care and make them co-owners of nursing issues and concerns. Let me drink first. Participate, the nurse who is holistically trained is able to participate in the socio-economic and political arena of the country. In fact, there are now nurses who are both in their province, in their city, and it is nice to see nurses participating in political affairs. Their contribution is always centered for the people, for a client, for a person, for a well person, for a sick person, or persons for that matter. And one competency enhancement that we want is to institutionalize a sustainable and effective professional education and development of nurses. Once we receive our RN, don't stop. You will forever be RN. But are you updated? Are you knowledgeable of what's new in nursing care? Your nursing care when you were students, when I was a student 50 years ago, of course, is different from what is nursing care now. Before, we did not say holistic nursing care. We just say nursing care. And we were not allowed to stay at the bedside of our patients before. Now, we don't stay idle at the station or any part of the institution, but it is nice to see a nurse at the bedside talking to a patient, maybe asking the patient to pray with her, or the nurse to pray with the patient if they are of different religion, to listen and appreciate music of the patient, or probably introduce classical music to the patient. Of course, you have to assess whether the patient is interested or not. And if you could see a symbol of the patient's profession, you can say, so you're a Catholic, I am a Catholic too. I can see that you have a rosary. If I have time before your bedtime, we will pray together the rosary. Or if the patient has a Bible, you can say, you can call me, your nurse, to read the verse in the Bible and discuss about it in whatever way we understood the verse in the Bible. And empower is very important. We just don't dictate for the time. We empower clients to maintain the highest level. Encourage the client not to feel sick all the time. Encourage that probably it is the disease which makes the client sad, maybe body visit or in the hospital. Probably there was a problem in the home. So many other reasons why the client is sad. A good assessment takes a long time to do. You have done your assessment in 10 minutes, so you can tell students, you can tell your instructor, I have done my assessment already, ma'am. I made it fast, so I'm done. Because just talking to a patient, knowing his or her identification takes a long time. It is not, her name is Pedro Santos. So what? His name is very important, but what else can you say about him? He is a musician, he plays the piano. He is a guitarist, he is a member of the choir of his church, etc. It's not... Okay. And ensure positive practice environment for nurses. Clean up first because that's the first intervention. Keep the environment clean, orderly, with everything for the patient's needs available. And wherever you are, the caring of the Filipino nurse is the best in the world. That's why caring for the Filipino is caring for the world. If you have any question, I have mentioned the nursing of yesterday. I would say during my time, but we don't tell this to our children because who are married. During my time, because during my time, there were no computers, there were no gadgets available, there were no Google. So don't always say during my time, adapt what's new. So caring for the Filipino means caring for the world. And I know that Filipino nurses, many of them my students, wherever they are, they would always give me a feedback that they are preferred rather than expelled or not accepted. So be the best Filipino nurse and best world nurse. Okay? Thank you for letting me talk to you for a few minutes. Thank you, Virgo.
Dr. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Octaviano.
Welcome.
Let's go back to the presentation. So, Doctor, thank you for sharing with us these words of wisdom about our topic for today, which is nursing yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
So now let's proceed with our question and answer session. So we will be picking up some questions and then will be answered by Dr. Octaviano. For the first question, let's have Mr. Saleo. So sir, please unmute and turn on your camera.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening to all. So, ma'am, my question is, how do you compare the nursing profession from the past to present?
A lot of changes. Actually, changes politically, socially, economically, nursing changes also. But the number one word is still caring. Caring yesterday and tomorrow is caring. And caring for others would include respect, loyalty, integrity, and being truthful to whatever you do or whatever you say. That's nursing yesterday, that's nursing today, and that's nursing tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So our next question is from Miss Comicho. Please turn your camera on and please unmute your microphone. Thank you.
Good afternoon po.
Miss Comicho.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question would be, in all the years that you have experience as a nurse, what do you think is the biggest major breakthrough that happened in the field of nursing?
The breakthrough, as I said, any profession, and especially nursing, if there are changes in healthcare, there should be changes in nursing care. If before we are not allowed to stay near our patient, now We must stay with our patient after we have done all our professional procedures. We don't stay at the nurse's station idle or making chit-chat there or chismis there. So stay with the patient is the number one change. As I said before, we were not allowed to stay with the patient. Now we must stay with our patient so that you can assess your patient better and you will know your patient better. If you don't talk to your patient, you wouldn't even know that she is an abused wife, that she was raped, etc., etc. And when you gain confidence, your patient will tell you all her problems. You cannot solve everything because number one is listening. Okay, Miss Comicho.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
So for the third question, let's have Mr.
Please turn your hand and unmute your.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reyes.
Yes, ma'am. As a former chairman of PRC Board of Nursing, what can you say about the nursing profession today compared to nursing profession in the past years?
Nursing is the same from before, now, and tomorrow. Because caring means doing something for a person for his or her benefit. That's caring. I care for you. Just like if you have a sweetheart, girlfriend, you would say, I care for you. Probably before I love you. And also for the ladies there, I care for you sa kanyang boyfriend. Not necessarily I love you right away. You have to do some assessment first. So before, our assessment procedure was quite not enough because we were not allowed to stay and talk to the patient. Only during professional procedure, giving medication, checking temperature, and interview for history, and nothing else. So before, we stayed at the station because we were not allowed to stay with the patient. Now, the patient can talk to you, can relate with you, can cry with you. I was asked, if your patient cries, would you cry with the patient? I would cry as the nurse if the story is sad. How could I not cry when the story is sad? And before, we were procedural. We were procedural. Basta, mag-procedure ka lang. This time, holistically. You can talk to your patient and ask her, what kind of music do you like? What magazines do you read? What prayers would you like me to pray with you? What verse in the Bible would you like to read and you can discuss with me? That I would say, I'm Catholic, this is how I understand the verse and your verse, but they are still the same. It's still about honoring God, praising God, loving our neighbors. And who are my neighbors? Are you my neighbor, Mr. Reyes? Mr. Reyes,
No, ma'am.
my neighbor?
Parang malayo-layo po ata, ma'am.
Oh, neighbor does not mean next door to my house. You are my...
Oh, gets ko na po, ma'am.
Oh, love God above all things. Number 2, love your parents and neighbors. Oh, hindi yung neighbor ko next door ko. No, you are... All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Or, as you were saying, what's the difference between the board before and now and in the future? Our preparation of questions, of course, are in a secret place. And we have to listen to the practitioners in all fields. And from them, we prepare our questions. An ER nurse, something like that. Which one of the following should you do first? Check vital signs. Number 2, ask for her family history. Number 3, call the family who may not be present. So what is the priority? Call the husband, call the family, or check the vital signs?
Ma'am, check the vital signs first.
Correct. Correct. Of course, you have to talk Mrs. Reyes or Mr. Reyes or Mr. Santos. I am Mr. Reyes. I am your nurse today. You can call me from now up to 2 o'clock. I will be off at 2 o'clock, but there will be other nurses who will take care of you. Talk to the patient. Consider them not so ill. Not everybody who goes to the hospital and consult is ill. Some of them like to go to the hospital to be with people because that person is alone in the house. Or a family might leave their parents in the hospital because they're going for a vacation to Boracay. So, sabihin nila, nanay, ilagay ka namin sa ospital kahit hindi ka sick ka para may kasama ka. Kasi sa bahay, wala kang kasama. So, you are not sick para lang may kasama ka. Nanay, oh. Sinong nanay ang ayaw niyan? Something like that.
Okay, ma'am.
When we were in the board, we prepared secretly and we were able the best for me to have any other place. If I were not in the board, I would not be able to see almost all places in our country. So I would say, ay salamat, nakapunta ako ng Cotabato. Ay salamat, nakapunta ako ng Cagayan de Oro. Something like that na privilege ba? Oo. So, Mr. Reyes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes po. Thank you, ma'am, for your answers. I really understand po.
Oh. In the future, mag-BOS.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much for that answer, Dr. Octaviano. Now, before we proceed to the next question, Doctor, I would like to ask the participants who would like to ask more questions. You can type your questions down below on the chat box down below, right?
Yes.
So we will read it to Dr. Octaviano words. Now let's proceed to question number 4, which is from Mr. Piamonte. Please turn on your camera and unmute your microphone. Thank you so much.
Good evening, ma'am, and to everyone. I would like to ask, what would be the effect on the patient relationship to nurses if technology treatments such as machines or nurses robots will be used in the future?
Very good. I like that. Whatever kind of machine could not take the place of a person. That's why if your patient is for a procedure attached to a machine, accompany your patient, hold her hand, his hand, except if you're not allowed to do that, but always be available for your patient to hold your hand. And whatever is next to holding hand means be with your patient. Talk about so many things. Don't answer only once because the question, you can ask questions so that you can also gather information. Mahilig po kayo sa music? Hindi eh. Ano po ang hilig nyo? Volleyball. Ah, volleyball. Okay, that's good. Yan. And start talking. Don't be so silent na you have a lot to give, to inform. That's the chance to give healthcare, probably. Healthcare does not mean procedure to give injection, to give education. That's not the only procedure. Okay?
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Doctor, Mr. Piamonte, were you able to get your answers from Dr. Octaviano?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Piamonte,
thank you, ma'am.
Go.
Okay. All right, so let's proceed with our next question from Mr. Al-Kwai. So please turn on your camera and unmute your microphone. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, Doctor. The next person to ask the question is a foreign.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Good evening po. What is the effective advice to a successful teamwork in the field of nursing?
Teamwork. I have to say we cannot work alone. That's why the teamwork is more effective than being alone. The teamwork should respect each member. The team must respect each other and honor the idea of each member. If there is difficulty in the discussion of idea, step majority governs. But in the case of healthcare procedure, we should not get away from what is the healthcare procedure. We do not add or minus. If you have some suggestion for the care, please consult the physician of your patient. Doctor Consultant, I have an idea to have my patient undergo this and that. Physicians are not perfect. They forget some other procedures, and the nurse is the best person to recommend. Sometimes the physician could not say for x-ray or for whatever procedure. And then you would say, Dr. Physician, is it all right if I recommend that an x-ray be done to him or to her? Ay, nakalimutan ko sabihin ng physician ko minsan. The physician needs some recommendation also for the sake of the patient. So don't just wait kung ano physician ganun. No. Now the nurse can recommend to the physician what the nurse thinks is to be done na nakalimutan ng physician. The physician will thank you for that.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, Mr. Al, are there more questions?
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor.
All right. So indeed, you know what, partner? One of the most important thing that I have learned now with regards to what Dr. Octaviano said is that teamwork is more effective than being alone.
What?
And it is always being emphasized that teamwork, collaboration, and unity is another way or another component for us to deliver safe and quality care to our clients. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer. So now let's proceed with our next question. So
Number
let's
6
have
is from Miss Saltat. Please turn on your camera and unmute your microphone. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening to all. Good evening, ma'am. For my question is, how do you incorporate the insights of the history of nursing practice today towards continuous future professional development?
What is now is based from what was before. Get that? If before,
yes, ma'am,
the nurse was not allowed to
Doctor, are you there? All right, so okay, so while waiting for Dr. Octaviano, I think we're having technical difficulties. So, Sir Virgo, do you have anything to share with regards Ms. Saltat's question?
Yes, hello everyone. So good evening. Good afternoon still. It's 5:53. To the Dean, Dean Magwilang, good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you for gracing the event. For now, because Dr. Octaviano is really in Bacolod, it's in Visayas. And she was mentioning about the idea of really focusing on learning from the past, because at the end of the day, the history of nurses would always go back, like our roots, right? Where we come from, because there's this Filipino saying that would really transpire everything that kung hindi mo alam kung saan ka nanggaling, then more likely hindi ka makakarating sa gusto mong puntahan. I think that wisdom of Dr. Octaviano is being emphasized on what she said, that what is now is based on what was before. And I think Dr. Octaviano is already here. Dr. Octaviano, you were saying something about learning from the past, especially from you, our, let's say, pillars in the profession of nursing. Dr. Fem. And it's a good question, yes. And it's a good question from Ms. Saltat for really trying to bring out the idea that really learning something beyond the books, for example, learning the practices of the nurses who came before us, really, wala pa rin makakapantay doon sa pangangalaga siguro ng mga nurses na mas batikan sa atin. And I think Dr. Fem was not here this time. Okay, I would like also to emphasize what she was saying about really teamwork and the idea of caring, wherein some of the students ask here regarding, did nursing really change? Actually, it might have changed the way, the landscape, for example, politically, as mentioned by Dr. Fem, but what did not change actually is the core of the profession, which is caring, right? But I probably later on, I would like to ask Dr. Fem later my own thoughts, like who are more caring probably? The nurses in the past, the nurses now, or the nurses tomorrow? Probably Dr. Fem can also contextualize that, since she has been in the lineage of different nurses, generations of nurses. So I cannot speak for the nurses before. What I can speak for now would probably during the time of
the past.
Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, I belong to the nurses before. Well, anyway, I graduated from UPPGH. So my base hospital was PGH. And from there, because that was the GN program, from there, I came home to Bacolod. And there was a need for a dean.
All right. I think we lost Ma'am Octaviano, and Dean Magwilang is here. I think she can also add something to that. Dean Magwilang, hello, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, hello, Virgo. What's that again?
Ma'am Magwilang, our discussion was about the differences of generation of nurses, because Ms. Saltat here was asking, and also the other students, ma'am, regarding the difference probably of nursing practice during your time and during the time of Dr. Octaviano and at present po. Probably you can also share during your time, ma'am, how nursing practice was done or the nitty-gritty of the practice po.
Okay. Well, as Dr. Euphemia had said a while ago, do not count the age. Okay. In the early 1990s, when I graduated that time, of course, our with regard to let me first start with the training in the academe. Of course, before we do not have any clinical instructor that follows up us in the special areas. We do it on ourselves. We communicate with the staff nurses there. They're the one to guide and supervise us. And I guess it's also during the time of Dr. Octaviano. Those are the practice. Though we have clinical instructors, that is the start where they started that all nursing students should have clinical instructors to supervise them in the clinical areas. But at times we really don't have, so we really have to work on our own. They are much stricter than us now, okay? And before, we do not have technology to help us do our research works, do our assignments. But now there are a lot of technologies that you can rely on, that you can do, that would help you to do your research or your assignments and other activities, synchronous activities, we call that already now, okay? With regard to the practice, of course, when we graduated, then we have to practice. there is a scarcity of work before. Now there are a lot of work for nurses. Generalists kasi ang nurses. Nurses are generalists, so they can perform many other tasks aside from being a nurse. Okay? Before, no, it's very scarce. Even going outside the country, job is very, very scarce before. Now, openings all over the world. That is why Dr. Octaviano have shared that we are the choice of the world, and we hope and we pray to maintain that image for Filipino nurses. Okay? So now it is your turn already. Of course, we become mellow as we go, as the generation changes, of course. The intellect, I'm not telling that we are intelligent before than you, huh? The intellectual capability, of course, the or how we see things changes over time. Okay, as I've told a while ago, there are disruptions. Education 0, education 1.0, 2, 3, 4. Now we are under 4 and 5. Maybe in your time when you graduate, there will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. You question Dr. Octaviano about the use of machine or the use of robots. I kept on telling with my national, local, and international speaking engagement, nobody can change the care that nurses give. Okay, so though in terms of caring, there are no changes. There are no differences supposed to be. Maybe on the trainings, maybe on the curricular requirements, maybe on how we give instruction, that is the difference. But on the caring of the care that we give to our client, we nurses, there is no differences, maybe yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Even with the many disruptions, with the presence of so many technologies, digital learning, robots inventions, experimental studies, they will never change the way nurses care for their client. And that is what is innate in the nursing profession. They can never remove that from nurses. That's why we are the best when it comes to assessment. Okay? And we are the it's not because I am a nurse and I am your present dean. We are one of the best leaders in the world. See that? Nurses. Filipino nurses also are the best of the world when it comes to caring. It's not because I am a Filipino, I am a nurse. Okay? But you can see the difference later when you become professional nurses and you join us in the craft and you go internationally or internationally as they pronounce. Okay? So, yun, a lot of differences, but I would testify 100% that the care that we give to our client, there is no difference before, now, and tomorrow. Okay, so I have taken how many minutes of your time, Virgo? Sorry for that. I mean, I miss the, the interactive forum day to day. It's because now we do it online and everything, and seldom we express ourselves. But what I say to you, our students, again, maybe a closing remark na, nagko-closing na ako, ano? Thank you so much for coming up again with this activity. It's one way of interacting with each other. You become better professional nursing leaders. Okay, we might not know. You will be also like Dr. Octaviano, who is former Philippine Regulatory Board for Nursing and a former dean and a former member of the Association of Deans of the Philippine Colleges of Nursing, that you can share more. And we will also be very proud IUCN graduate for that matter. And of course, before you go with that, you have to pass your nurse's licensure exam, in which I am very confident your Sir Virgo can guide you to that and supervise you well to achieve that dream. Aside from being your nursing leader or your nurse leader for now. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma'am Judith. I think that Dr. Octaviano is already here. Dr. Fem, there's a question from our student here, ma'am, if I may read for you. Since you are really the former chairman of the board, Dina, or should I say Dr. Octaviano. The question was, as a former PRC chairman of especially the Board of Nursing, what would be your advice to the students right now who would be taking the exam next year and for the years to come? Dr. Fem?
Okay.
Because you mentioned a while ago about the way you prepare the exam as well.
Yes. I would say that the preparation in taking the board exam must have focus. Must have focus. In your school, the focus might be medical surgical or community health or psychiatric nursing or pediatric nursing. The focus is the same. 25% MCN, 25% MS, 25% CHN, 25% Psych. The questions are prepared by each member of the board. However, during the last day, the chairman and the members of the board meet as a whole, as a group, so that the one who prepared MCN1 could present her questions, and 2, 3, 4, and there might be some suggestions by any member. So we are open. Something like that is already included in the MS, so should not be repeated in MCN. Like growth and development is in MCN. So it should not be there in the psych anymore, in the psychiatric nursing test anymore. So the members, in the presence of the chairman, should already have a knowledge of what one member is going to prepare, is going to include in the preparation of the questions. So everybody, all members are knowledgeable of what MCN questions are, MS questions are, and other subjects are.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Octaviano. So now let's have our next question from Mr. Saleo. Saleo, sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Saleo, please take turn on your camera, please unmute.
My question is, in what way can nursing of today influence tomorrow?
All right. So I guess Mr. Salio is having a problem with the internet connection. So ma'am, let me read it in behalf of Mr. Salio. So he asked here, in what way can nursing of today influences the tomorrow?
Oh. Can I speak now?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Oh. Nursing from yesterday, today, and tomorrow is nursing. And today, in correct influence the tomorrow. But the development is expected so that the tomorrow will be better than yesterday. Healthcare is also developing. Use of machines, use of robots, and other gadgets. But as I said, the presence of a nurse during the use of the gadget is very important. So the nurse must not say, anyway, he is for X-ray, anyway, he is for whatever procedure with the machine. The nurse can still accompany, and the presence of the nurse with the patient is necessary even for tomorrow. So the influences of today affects also the influences of today, and even yesterday affect the tomorrow of nursing. There might be a need to improve, to develop, but the basic thing, care, is there. There might be some problems like there's no water, there's no alcohol, there's nothing to use. Nurse can do wonders by providing the necessary articles or necessary gadgets for the procedure to be done to the patient. And in fact, that would also teach the nurse what's happening when the patient is for rehab using a robot. So the nurse is there, present, and even able to see how this procedure influence nursing. Not only influence the tomorrow, what is the influence today of a robot? So there's always a basic yesterday, which purpose is basis for today.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Octaviano, for that very, what do you call this? Relevant answer po. So I have learned that indeed, no, the nursing today affects the nursing tomorrow. So it is the basis of tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer po. And yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And for the last question, let's have Miss Claudine, not Barreto.
Good evening, ma'am.
Claudine, not Barreto.
Yes, ma'am.
Claudine Tindunga.
Yes, ma'am. My question po, ma'am, for you is, what can you advise as aspiring student nurses who wants to follow your path in the future?
That's a nice question. I have not expected that what I was doing as a nurse in whatever I was exposed in would become the basis for me to become the board of nursing. The chairman of the board of nursing, when I was a dean, was my advisor in UP. At the time, chairman of the board of nursing was my advisor in UPPJH School of Nursing. And she told me, Euphemia, maging board of nursing ka ha? I don't know how to do that. And she said, you don't study how to do that. You learn to be a good board every day. And expect changes, expect surprises. Just be responsible, just be truthful, just be as you are. I know, and then she said, I know you as a student, I know you as a practicing nurse, I know you as before. I'm sure these are all your qualifications. And my being mabait daw ako. I like the mabait daw ako more than the I was a dean before, I was UP before, ganon. Mabait daw ako. But that mabait was used in proper ways. In fact, the members of the board, I as chairman, We were mabait. Even as BON, mabait pa rin kami. We were always thinking of the other person. Ano kaya kung ang mga estudyante mahirapan sa question natin sa ER na ito kasi hindi yan sila the same experience sa ER. Oo nga, iba-iba ang ER. So we should not ask questions na hindi alam ng lahat na estudyante. May sophisticated ER, may simple ER, like if you are in the ER and the patient was brought in without a name, you don't know who this patient is, what would you do? A, notify the family. I have to say, how could I notify the family when you said there was no one with this patient? Di siyempre wrong na yung A. B, notify the policeman. Not necessarily the policeman, the security guard of your hospital. Security guard, there is a patient here na hindi namin kilala. Please do some procedure of yours to look for his family or else. It's not the work of the nurse to look for the family of the patient. So, request the guard. And if you are in the ER, what do you do first? I mentioned it before. Check the vital signs or ask, what happened to you? What did you eat? Why are you so ka? What did you eat? What party did you go to? They are irrelevant. So, focus on what is present. Parang ganon. Hindi ba? Wala meaning yung she went to a party of the birthday of the friend. Wala, ano yun? Oh. Bakit nagsuka ka? Nagparty ka ba? On pansit, siguro nag-inom ka ng ganon. Don't put words in your patient's mouth. Listen. Okay?
Thank you po, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer po. So, alam mo, partner, yung nakuha ko dito sa answer ni ma'am, no? Since we are, we'll be having our board exam very soon,
yes.
No? Kasi si ma'am kanina, she gave example of a question in the board exam. So, what she trying to say there is that you just have to focus on what is yung pinaka, kumbaga parang ang buod ng question. Yun, mag-focus dun sa pinaka, question, yung present. Sabi niya doon, focus on what is present. Yeah.
So let's
yeah.
go back to the questions.
So right now, let's have our next question. I'm sorry kanina po I said kasi na it's our last question, but
there are some students who asked questions, ma'am. I think we still have 2 more. So
yeah, so let's have Miss Buyukan.
It's all right.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. My question would be, what is one professional accomplishment you are most proud of and why?
I am proud na naging chairman of the Board of Nursing ako. And I am happy that during my membership or my being chairman in the Board of Nursing, I was able to see places because it was our obligation to visit, to inspect schools, to visit nursing service, to check that the nurses that the practicing nurses are really RN, and things. The nursing practice should be quality. It's not, even the hair of the nurses are checked. Claudine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that answer.
My pride or my achievement is I was able to see our country. Well, I have to mention this. I was abroad for 7 years as nurse in America, and ganyan. But only then that I realized, if hindi ako naging board of nursing sa Philippines, hindi ko nakikita yung mga nursing practice in Cotabato, in Cagayan de Oro, and in Ilocos, even in Baguio. And the best thing that we, DON, are happy about is if we are given very good accommodation, then good food, and we have some take home pa. We had to ask our PRC chairman if pwede kami makareceive ng mga gulay from Nueva Ecija. Baka hindi pwede kami mag-receive ng mga gulay or mga itlog or mga eggplant, mga ganyan. Sabi ng aming chairman then, PRC chairman talaga of all the boards, pwede mag-accept ng food na hindi. Halimbawa, we should not accept 1 sack of rice, halimbawa. But if we are given 5 kilos of malagkit na rice, thank you for that. If we are given a box of tuyo from Bataan, thank you for that. So we were allowed to receive little gifts na food, not money.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that answer.
All right.
Eureka and Avril, probably I can just add something. For Octaviano, I cannot help but to mention it. You were the chairman of the Board of Nursing in 2000, right? 2001 and 2002. And for the students in NLM here, I would like to tell you that it was the team of Dr. Octaviano who drafted the Code of Ethics of the Filipino nurses, right, Dr. Octaviano? And also, you were instrumental in the passing of Republic Act 9173, wherein it is our existing nursing law in the country. And I guess Dr. Euphemia can say something about the Code of Ethics and the Republic Act 9173 of our existing nursing law. Dr. Euphemia?
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. In the Code of Ethics, before it became the real accepted one, we had to call participants from different fields of nursing, from the practitioners, from the private nurses, from the education, from all fields. And we had a meeting. There was
Go ahead, ma'am. Yes, we can hear you, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. You were saying about meeting first the different sectors before coming up with the Code of Ethics?
Yes. There was an existing Code of Ethics. There was one for PNA and there was one from the Board of Nursing before our time. Why should there be two Code of Ethics? Iba ang sa PNA, iba ang sa Board of Nursing. So we had to call all those who are involved to only have one Code of Ethics. We consulted lawyers. We consulted other boards within the professional board, within the professional regulatory commission. And we had a long discussion We had a 3-day discussion about that. And for us to not to be bored, there was one day at Philippine Health Center, there was one day at PGH, there was one another hospital. And the final ethics was decided upon. In fact, it was presented during the National Convention in Iloilo, for that matter, and accepted and by those who are concerned.
So the heart of the Code of Ethics of Nursing, Dr. Octaviano, which one or what among these provisions should we never forget from now until we, for example, practice our profession, until we become the best nurses of the country and the world? What provision in the Code of Ethics should we never forget, Dr. Fem?
That we nurses could not practice as nurses only. We have to respect the other team members. There are the health team members. There are 11. Not all of them should be present when we do our procedure, but at least this is the midwifery ethics, this is physical therapy ethics, and 11 health course ethics. And then we talk about our nursing for nursing so that we do not involve ourselves in other professional health courses.
Right, Dr. Fem. I guess the word that Ma'am Fem was telling us is, you mentioned about collaborative a while ago, but more than that is the word collegial, because Dr. Fem, I think you remember it right. It's in the Code of Ethics. It's mentioned there, collegial relationship with others. And I think as nurses, really, that's the best thing for us. And Dr., or should I say, Dean Magwilang also mentioned about working in a team. And you mentioned we're not alone. Just last question, Dr. Fem, about your legacy on Republic Act 9173. What was the reason why we have changed the 1991 nursing law to the 2002 nursing law, Dr. Fem? What was the main reason for that?
The team, thought that the 7-1 against 7-3 are the same in essence, but there was to be a specific nursing statement which is acceptable to all, not only to their professions. Hindi lang nursing in collaboration with the other team members. Ganyan. Nurses, by the word collaborate.
Yes. Dr. Fem, last na po, no? Kasi I cannot help but to mention as well, it is stipulated in the RA 9173 po, yung salary grade 15 for nurses. And we would like to thank you because it has materialized finally recently in this year na naprobahan na po at naging realistic po yung pagbigay po ng nararapat po na sahod sa ating mga nurses. Because in 9173, clearly mentioned, salary grade 15 should be given to nurses, Dr. Fem.
At first, it was only for government nurses. So we had to defend during the convention in assembly. And we said, when we be nurses, it's not only government nurses. There are many fields of nursing. It's not people. Private and all fields of nursing, not only hospital nursing. Because some people conclude.
All right. Because of that, I think Dr. Fem deserves a big round of applause for the legacy, for the Code of Ethics, together with her fellow Board of Nursing members, the RA 9173 that really empowers all nurses, not only the Philippines, but Filipino nurses in the world. Thank you, Dr. Fem. April, and yes, our host.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now proceed po. Ma'am, sorry, Doc. We have our last question from our fellow student, Mr. Glex.
Go.
Hi, ma'am. My question would be, how would COVID-19 pandemic affect nursing education and practice in the future, and what changes may come?
No matter what is the pandemic, nursing is nursing. We don't modify nursing COVID. We don't modify nursing because of the storm or of any other problems. Whatever is the problem, if nursing is to be practiced, it should focus on nursing need during the pandemic. It's not going to change. So the practice might be the ratio or more nurses during the swab test or something like that. The supervisor or the head nurse can make decisions regarding that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. So thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer. So now, partner, I have learned there again that regardless of any situation, nursing is nursing. O nga naman. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful answer.
Thank you, doctor.
And thank you for inspiring us to become that great nursing leaders in the future. Po. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. BON of the future.
Yes. Amen, ma'am. I claim it in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right.
God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good night.
All right. So I guess we're done with our question and answer portion. So now let's move on with our closing remarks to be led by our very own instructor, Mr. Virgo Lopez.
All right, thank you so much, Eureka and Avril. I'll be quick. Dr. Fem, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really learned a lot. And I think one thing that we should really learn from our first generation of nurses, I mean, expert nurses of the past, today, and the future would be learning beyond ourselves, learning from their experiences do matter, and their wisdom really is incomparable, you know? They've been there before us. Ma'am Magwilang as well was there before us. Dr. Fem was there before us. And I was here before you, BSN for students and the rest of the students. So learning something from each other really means a lot. And I would like to summarize the webinar with the words or with the word nurse, N-U-R-S-E. Letter N, we must be nurturing individuals because at the end of the day, we are nurses of the past, nurses today, and nurses tomorrow. Letter U, we must unite to work together because no one or no nurse is an island. We always work with a team. We must be collegial. We must be collaborative. Letter R is reflect and learn from the experiences of others, especially those who came before us, because we might have the advancement of technology right now. We might have all the gadgets and the easiest way to assess, for example, or to treat our patient, but they have learned the better way, or let's say the hard way, but with the most practical way in the past. Letter S is to seek for higher purpose and passion, because I think Dr. Fem has mentioned clearly, if you really want nursing, there could be a reason. There should be a why, so that everything, also Dr. AJ yesterday mentioned, how would be easier. And finally, letter E, we must be able to engage ourselves for continuous learning. We must empower others by learning from us and learning from them. And finally, we must enact all the things that we should be doing right now towards the profession of nursing. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, nursing is nursing. And one thing that should never change is that nurse who's caring beyond anything else. Thank you so much. Eureka and Avril.
All right. Thank you so much, po, sir. But before we proceed with our giving of certificate, we would just like to say thank you with the from the bottom of our heart to our speaker, Dr. Euphemia Octaviano. Ma'am, thank you so much po for being with us tonight po, for helping us and for giving us the opportunity to hear, which syempre po you have come from many you have come from being that board of the chairman of the board of nursing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wisdom, the knowledge that you have shared to us tonight po. In behalf of the BSN 4 nursing students of the University of the Cordilleras, thank you so much po.
All right.
So now let's proceed with our giving of certificate that is also led by our instructor, Sir V, and our Dean, Mrs. Magwilang.
All right. I think I would like to give the honor to Dean Magwilang to read the content of the certificate. Ma'am Judith, please.
Okay,
Dean
sir.
Magwilang.
So we will give the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Femia. Thank you very much, really, Dr. Octaviano, for always being so active, and despite this time, we really owe you a lot. I'm really, really very happy to see you, ma'am. One of the pillars of the nursing education. Thank you for even here in the Cordillera Administrative Region. You've been, what do you call that, expounding your wings to teach us. So, on behalf of the University of the Cordilleras Administration, may I have the honor to read to you your the content of your certificate of appreciation. So the University of the Cordilleras, Baguio City, gives the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Euphemia Octaviano for being the speaker on nursing yesterday, today, and tomorrow, given on October 14, 2020 as part of the webinar series of the intricacies, the trends, transitions, and directions amidst disruption for the course Nursing Leadership and Management, given this 14th day of October 2020 in the city of Baguio, Philippines, signed Judith Udani G. Magwilang, Dean, College of Nursing; Virgo C. Lopez, Instructor, Nursing Leadership and Management, Nursing Care Management 107. Thank you very much, Ma'am Femia, Dr. Femia, for gracing our activity, the webinar of our level 4, headed by Mr. Lopez, and all our future students. Thank you so much, ma'am. We can never really repay you back. Hope to see you soon when it's not virtual. You have to go to Bacolod. Thank you, ma'am. Or maybe next time, come here and visit us here in Baguio, care of Virgo. Tito Virgo. Oh my
Yes,
God.
ma'am.
I'm so really very happy. Thank you so much, ma'am. We really appreciate.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, April and Eureka.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am and Sir V. Now let's proceed po with our picture taking po. So we ask everyone po to please turn on your camera for our documentation. Picture taking po.
Okay, ready? Ready? Smile. Different poses will be taken. So, kahit anong gawin niyo, sige lang. Smile lang ng smile. Then we will take a picture.
Sir Christopher, probably we can advise Ma'am Fem. Ma'am Fem, probably you can move a little bit to your right, ma'am, so that you can be seen po. Thank you, Ma'am Fem.
Yeah, hindi siya nakikita. Yan, better. A little bit center, Ma'am Fem niya. Center ng konti po.
Yes, ma'am. Center. Yan.
Yes.
Now we are recognizing the most beautiful. Okay, ready? Ready, ma'am? Okay, in 1, 2, 3, smile. Smile lang ng smile. Okay, smile. Another one. For the next page, kasi 4 pages tayo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and for the next page again, ma'am. Smile lang po. And for the last page.
Sarangay.
Okay, thank you very much po.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Level 4. Thank you, Dr. Femia. Thank you, Virgo. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
You
So
all on the
are you
19th, right?
sure?
Okay, so thank you so much for patiently, what do you call that? Thank you so much for being cooperative during our picture taking. So, how are you all so far, everyone? I believe each and every one of us are really gaining a lot of knowledge about our topic today. So, most especially from our speaker, Miss Pem, Dr. Pem. What do you think, partner? How are you today?
That's right, partner, di ba? We are so blessed kasi hindi naman lahat nabibigyan ng chance, ng opportunity na magkaroon ng really great speaker like Dr. Fem.
Yeah, it's
Di
such
ba?
an honor,
So,
Doctor. Thank you
so much po, Doc. And I believe that every one of us, everything that we have learned this day, tonight, we will be able to emulate it, to apply it also as we also have our future license very soon. Yeah, so thank you so much po to everyone. So that's the end of our second day of.
Once again, I am Abe.
And I am Yuri.
Signing
off.
Yes, Dr. Fem signed the certificate for the participants. Dr. Magwilang at Dean Magwilang, salamat po. To all the participants from level 1 to level 4 on behalf of BSN 4A, you will be receiving your certificate signed duly by our former chairman of the Board of Nursing, Dr. Euphemia Octaviano. So you will be getting the certificate signed by her and of course, Dean Magwilang. Salamat po. See you on Monday, everyone, with our last webinar series on emerging opportunities for nurses. So congratulations, BSN 4A. And good night po, Dr. Fem. Mamagwilang, good night. See you again.
Good night po. Thank you very much, Doc.
Dr. Fem, thank you.
Welcome.
I owe you po. Dr. Fem, you can leave na po. Thank you po, Dr. Fem.